What's the challenge that the Panthers present for you guys tonight?
Yeah, they're a really good team offensively. Their D like to be involved in the rush, and their rush play is really dangerous, so it's going to be up to us to be strong through the middle of the ice and try to limit their chances.
Do you have a better feeling now of this whole thing about 7D? Who knows if you'll go with that in the playoffs finally, but...
Yeah, I think the rotation is getting a little bit easier the more you kind of play it, and you kind of understand how it's going to work. So that's been good. But yeah, I don't know exactly what the long-term plan will be, but it's I think everyone's good with it.
What's it like to have Luke worked into that, Luke Schenn?
Yeah, he's a great player. He's really physical. He's really heavy out there and strong on the puck, so it adds another element to our decor, I think.
What goes through your mind when you see Mitch make a pass with his head the other day in Nashville?
Yeah, that was almost the greatest highlight of all time. We actually were kind of spared from having to see that over and over again, probably, but it was a crazy play and a nice play by him.
In what ways do you feel like his hockey IQ, we see he makes great plays, but how does his hockey IQ kind of help the rest of the team? There was a play, like at the end of a power play, the second he's yelling at the bench, change for a defenseman, let's change over. Like, what do you notice about how his hockey IQ helps the team? Yeah, for sure. I think, he's obviously a great scorer, great playmaker, but he does so many things well for our team, whether it be, penalty killing or 5-on-6 at the end of the game, or, he plays in every situation, and everyone knows that you can rely on him because he's just so smart out there. So whether that's, on the ice or, like you said, on the bench, trying to make sure everyone's aware, he's extremely valuable.
Why do you think Austin seems to have found another gear here in the last week or so?
Yeah, I think he's feeling it, a little bit more, and obviously he's had a couple more go in. But, he's the same way, whether he's scoring 2 goals a game or not, he's really effective, and, he's really good with the puck. He's really good defensively, so, he's always playing well, but I'm sure he's happy to, see a couple more go in.
What sort of sense of urgency are you expecting from the other side? They've lost 4 in a row, trying to stay in the playoff mix. Like, what kind of urgency are you expecting from the opponent tonight?
Yeah, I'd expect it to be high. And, we're playing them tonight, and then we have Ottawa on Saturday, two teams that are fighting for their playoff lives, so we know that the urgency is going to be really high, and it's going to be up to a match and exceed it.
I think I've seen you jump in the rush a bit more of late. For all the defensemen, when you have an offensive team like you guys do, is that kind of an instinct thing? You want to get in on the fun, so to speak?
Yeah, I think it's been more of an emphasis for us too, organizationally, just in terms of helping our team generate more offense, and not only that, but just maybe get through the neutral zone cleaner or get out of our zone easier. So I think it's been a little bit more of an emphasis, and I think guys have been doing a good job.
How much do you like that, getting involved when you can?
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, I think, it helps you feel more into the game when you handle the puck a little bit, and maybe when you're, in the rush and getting offensive chances. And, it's just, it's got to be a balance. You can't force it. It's got to be the right time. But, I think it's been good so far.
You're talking about the urgency of Florida and Ottawa, but how difficult is it to manufacture that for you guys when you got your playoff spot, pretty good cushion for home ice? Like, how do you even generate?
Yeah, obviously clinching playoffs is a big thing, but the next is clinching home ice. So, you don't want to let your foot off the gas at all. And also more important than that probably is just feeling good about your team going into playoffs. So I think just, the urgency has to be high just so you have good team confidence and you're, kind of rolling.
Like, you guys took it to another level at the end of that road trip. Like, what did you like about the team game the last few games of that trip? Yeah,
I thought we played really well. Florida, Carolina, we played well. Obviously didn't get the result we wanted. And then Nashville was a good game as well. So I think maybe just, like I said, growing team confidence a little bit and everyone kind of settling into their roles. Obviously it was a lot of new guys at the trade deadline and things like that. So maybe just a little bit of gelling as a team.
You guys have done a pretty decent job of containing Tkachuk when you've seen him in the last couple of years. I know he got the power play goal the other night. What's the key, do you think, with a guy like him?
I think it's just kind of playing good team defense and limiting their rush play. Obviously, he's a really talented player, and he's been on an absolute heater. So that's a big point of emphasis for us, is just trying to limit the chances that we give those guys.
Calle, what's the challenge of the Florida Panthers tonight?
Always they're a good team. They're trying to get into the playoffs. So they're a desperate team right now, and it's going to be a challenge for us.
What did you do well against them last week?
I think we took away their transition game pretty well, and that needs to continue today to have a chance to win.
Justin Holl said that header pass by Marner was almost the greatest play ever. What was your view of that play?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it before. This kid can do it all.
You ever seen anything like that, like a header pass in hockey?
Not that I can think of, no.
How does his hockey IQ help you as a line mate? You know, we know he does plays, but like, how do you feel like his hockey IQ helps you as a teammate?
Yeah, I mean, both him and Matty are, they're great hockey IQ. They make it very, very easy for me out there.
You're having a career year points-wise. Is that something you're proud of? Is something you're doing, or do you credit the teammates for passing the puck as much?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta probably give the credit to my teammates for sure. Yeah.
Are you doing anything differently than you've done in previous years?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. No, I don't think so.
What's it like being on a line with Austin, like between shifts and stuff? How much communication is there? Like, does he take charge lines? Is he talking about strategy in game?
Yeah, I mean, if we need to, I mean, it's just playing with those two. It's so much fun. It's so much fun for me.
Austin says he likes the way that you go to the net for screens and all that. Is that a part of your game that maybe people don't appreciate, or something that you've worked on or wherever, or have you always done that?
No, I mean, especially playing with those two, we want them to have the puck as much as possible. So I'm just trying to create some space for those two out there.
Matthews finishes with 15 shots in Raleigh. Like, what were you seeing as that game played out from him?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he had a great game. I mean, 15 shots, that's 10 games for me. So it's pretty impressive.
Sheldon was thinking maybe, because I asked him about your offense this year. He's like, maybe the style of the team, you guys have more puck possession. Do you feel like it's suited your game the way the Leafs play?
Yeah, I would like to think so. And yeah, like we said earlier, playing with good players doesn't hurt either.
How did you develop your release? Because obviously we talked about Austin, one of the prettiest he's seen in a long time. Like, how did that come about for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just been trying to work on my shot a lot. I guess when I first came into it, my shot wasn't that good. So I've been working at it throughout the years.
Who did you like watching when you were developing it? Like, whose shot did you look at?
I don't know. I played with Philip Forth, but he's got a pretty good release. I was kind of watching him and see what he was doing and stuff like that.
What's it like going back into Nashville for you? What was that experience like on Sunday?
It's always fun to be back there. I was living there for a long time, and it's I love that place.
Morgan, you got these guys last week. What's the key against them tonight?
Yeah, I think when you look back at the game that we played in Florida, there's obviously a lot of good things, controlling play. And so, we talked about that this morning, just weak side D being involved, controlling the puck through the neutral zone, stuff like that, no turnovers, all those typical things that lead to success.
What's the key in stopping a guy like Matthew Tkachuk, who's obviously highly skilled but also a bit of an agitator?
Yeah, he's a good player. Obviously having an outstanding year, he plays hard. So it's just important that you're aware of where he is on the ice, and he likes to get to the net front, so obviously as D-man, we've got to be aware of that.
What goes through your mind when Mitch makes that header pass in Nashville?
Well, I guess what went through my mind is he's never going to stop talking about it if we score, so thankfully we didn't, and we heard the end of it.
How does he help? Like, we know he makes amazing high IQ plays. Like, how do you feel like that helps the team?
Yeah, well, it's just impressive and fun, and he's out there enjoying what he's doing and performing at a high level. And when you see guys do stuff like that, you know that they have confidence in the ability to do so, and they know where their teammates are, they know what they're doing. So he's obviously a very impressive player, and he does stuff like that all the time. So it's cool to watch.
What do you expect from the Panthers as a group tonight, Morgan, especially after they kind of got a bit of a break last night? They had a 10 score.
We expect them to come. They're playing hard right now. They're playing for their playoff lives, and so I mean that's what happens this time of year. So we expect them to play well, be super competitive. So we expect a good effort from them, and it's important that our group's able to respond with a good effort of our own.
How difficult is it to match the urgency of these teams like Florida and Ottawa? They're like fighting for their playoff lives, and you guys are in a much more comfortable spot.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it's not that difficult. I mean, for us, we want to be really competitive. We want to tee ourselves up to play well in the playoffs, and we're competing for home ice. And I mean, this time of year, you want to get your game into a position where you feel really good about it going into the next kind of phase of things. So I expect our group to be ready and extremely competitive, and in terms of matching their competitiveness, I don't think that should be a challenge for us. I think that our group will be ready to play, and that's our expectations for the next 9 or 10 games, whatever we got left.
It sounded like you guys took the game to team game to another level down the stretch in the road trip. What did you like the last kind of few games of the road trip?
Yeah, I thought we played well in Carolina. Obviously, didn't get the result that we wanted, and then went into Nashville on a back-to-back, and had a pretty solid effort. So I think that's good. And again, this time of year, you expect nothing less. We're a group that has a lot to prove, and we're looking forward to going into the playoffs. And we're trying to get our game to a point where we feel really good about it, and we're confident, and we're just kind of rolling. So that's what we'll try to do here for the next couple of weeks as we approach that time of year.
Are you at this stage? Are you thinking about that yet, Morgan? Like, are you measuring? Are we playoff ready? Are you thinking about that in the playoffs?
I think you think about it, but I mean, ultimately, we have our structure that we want to work on. We have a couple areas of our game that we want to work on, so we're going to chip away at it. We're not really, too worried about, comparing our style of hockey right now versus what it's going to be in a couple weeks. I think it's more just trying to get yourself ready as an individual and, get your team game to a point where you feel confident and good and you can just go in and start playing.
Pretty unique situation.
Coming into focus now for you guys.
I mean, you're always thinking about that, or when you look at the standings, games in hand, points, you're doing the math, stuff like that. But I mean, ultimately, it's probably going to come down to the wire anyway. There's no point worrying about it right now. We've got a big game here tonight, and then 2 on the weekend that we got to focus on. So we got our hands full, and if we take care of business and we play well, either way, whether it's home ice or not, we'll be ready to go in and play well.
Pretty unique situation though that you guys and the Lightning seem destined to face each other. Are you the type like on an off night to tune into a Lightning game? Like, are you kind of keeping an eye on that?
Yeah, I was kind of watching their game last night, and then the Bruins game a little bit as well. So, I mean, we know them pretty well. So I don't think, watching games, you're not going to learn anything overly new this time of year. It's more just that mindset. You look forward to the challenges that come with the playoffs and the intensity and stuff like that. So it's easy to get excited and look forward to that type of stuff. It's not as much preparation as it is just kind of like fun.
One more next question for me.
Sure.
What
Absolutely.
sort of leader is he by this? Have you seen him develop in that regard?
Yeah, I think so. He's great. I mean, he's extremely involved in everything our team's doing, and he's real vocal. He brings a lot of energy, and so off the ice, he's really turned into our guy who's always bringing energy, always talking, always wanting to include everybody in team events and all that sort of stuff. And then when we get to the rink and you watch him play and how he plays the 200-foot game and his commitment to the team and winning and everything like that, that speaks for itself. And so, to have a guy like that on our team, we're very fortunate for Mitch.
Are you as good as a defensive forward as there is in the league?
I think so. I think if you watch how he plays and you watch what he does on a penalty kill, I think I've had that opinion for a while now. I think what he does really, he gets a lot of attention for how great he is, and he truly deserves it. But I think that there's that area of his game can go unnoticed at times, and what he's able to do for us all over the ice, and his commitment to playing defense, and his commitment to playing the penalty kill, and again, that's part of his personality. He just enjoys that stuff. So again, we're very lucky for him.
Would you be surprised if you won a Selke one day?
No, it's hard to do. As a winger is what I don't really understand how that works truly, but I hear forwards talk about it in that sense. But in terms of what he brings to our team in that aspect, playing defensive hockey, and again, the PK, he does everything for us. So no, I wouldn't be surprised by anything that could potentially come his way over the course of his career.
Are you surprised Mark Giordano did not skate this morning?
Yeah, slacking.
Team here tonight against this Panthers team.
Well, they're a pretty dangerous team offensively. They got a lot of skill and speed off the rush, so just got to continue to play with the mindset of defense first. So I mean, obviously, you don't want to cheat the game against these guys, and they're pretty good up and down the ice, and they're pretty good creating offense down low as well too. So we got to play tight defensively tonight.
How would you describe the Battle of Florida when you were in the mix there?
With Tampa?
With Tampa.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is a pretty good rivalry actually. The fans are pretty into it more than you'd think, and we had the first round playoff series against them a couple years ago, which was incredible. Actually, even playing there, I never heard the building so loud. So it was a great atmosphere to be a part of, and hockey's growing a lot down there.
What's the key to stopping a guy like Matthew Tkachuk? You want to help?
Oh, thanks. Well, I mean, he's just so good around the net, behind the net too. He's strong on the puck, and he makes those little give and go plays, those little 2, 3 foot, 4 foot passes where it's give and go, and he's finding an open hole, and he's pretty strong around the net on his stick too. So he's having a heck of a year, kind of building off what he did last year, and he's a huge part of what they're doing right now.
What have you learned about Mitch Marner that you did not know before you were teammates with him?
Oh, I mean, he's just got so much energy day to day too. He's got an engine on him and a motor that doesn't really stop. So I mean, brings lots of life into the room. Always a positive attitude, and then you see what he does on the ice too. I mean, the one game he played close to 30 minutes, and next he's north of 20 every game for a forward, which is pretty incredible. First PK, first power play. So he's a special player, and lucky to be a part of playing with him.
What did you think of that header pass?
Oh yeah, that was good. I mean, I've been telling guys a little bit here and there if going off the glass every once in a while to release some pressure isn't a bad idea. So Mo did it, and I didn't mean off the glass, off the head to potential breakaway, but it was he's just creative. I mean, who thinks of that, right? So he's special, and it almost worked out.
Luke, there's a lot of new faces here, and you're one of them, and we talk a lot about the Leafs trying to integrate all the new faces at times in the playoffs. But what does that look like from your perspective? What can you do to integrate yourself as quickly as possible?
I mean, this isn't my first time, coming to a new team. It's maybe a little different coming this later in the season, but I just try to fit right in. I'm not trying to take some time here to get into it and get to know everyone. I'm just kind of being myself. I have no problem speaking up, in the intermission or before the game or whatever. I mean, been around long enough where you just say what's on your mind and try to go out there and just stay within yourself and play solid. I mean, obviously this team has a lot of skill, and you just try to bring different element, I think is the main focus. So it's been a work in progress for sure. I don't think jumping into a new team with not a lot of time left, and me missing some time in Vancouver there before the trade, and then with the baby and everything, it's been a bit of time to kind of get up and going. Just when you're practicing by yourself for a month, it's not the same. So starting to feel better and better each game.
Any advice to Ilya about being a new dad?
Oh man, just hopefully he slept a lot before the baby came, so I don't get much sleep now. I mean, my family just came, and got 3 kids under 5, so you try to catch up on sleep on the road. I think that's a big priority for sure.
Could Thomas Caberlet be a good babysitter?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he said he'd come over anytime. No, I mean, no, actually, his son though is he's a little hockey player too, and I think there's some driveway hockey matches going too. So the other day he came home, his son, I saw him, he was upset from losing. So I said, well, I asked what the score was. He said 2-0. So I said, well, you better get used to it because I'm going to come over and kick your butt too. So it was a little bit. It's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, we were together when I first started, and he was a great mentor to me. And for me, I was very fortunate to play with him, for the first 3 years, and he taught me a lot. He was a true pro. Obviously, a great puck-moving guy, and around the power play here, and I think he's loved by the fan base and everyone around the organization in the city. So pretty cool to reconnect with him for sure.
How did you discover you guys were neighbors? Like, I assume it wasn't planned or anything.
I think word spreads in a hurry, and he actually texted me. I had a number, or a text from a number. I had his old phone number. I haven't talked to him in a long time, and he just said, "Hey, it's Cabby. I heard we're neighbors," and we just exchanged a couple texts, and we're literally neighbors. So it's a small world. I mean, obviously, you don't anticipate that. And I knew he was still living in Toronto, but just hadn't really talked much since. Actually, just I don't know. He finished up his career, and we kind of went separate paths. And he was obviously a little older than me when I first came in, so you kind of different paths in life. But here we are, and pretty cool. Yeah, he's taking care of me too, showing me the lay of the land around here, so it's good.
Have you visited his and his wife's restaurant yet?
Yeah, I've been there. I was actually there years ago at the grand opening.
Oh,
So yeah. So that's how far we go back. But yeah, it's a great spot, and I popped by once too for sure. So yeah, it's good.
You've been a Leaf for 3 or 4 weeks. Still haven't won the home blues out of the league, and you won't tonight either.
I know. I said, what's a guy got to do? Wear a blue jersey around here, breaking in new gear every single day, new gloves and new pants, and the practice rink, all new set of gear too. So sooner than later, hopefully, I get the chance to wear it again.
There's a bit of runway here, Luke, on the regular season still, but have you allowed yourself to think of what it'll be like to play Tampa in the playoffs?
Yeah, of course, your mind wanders there too. Obviously, like you said, we got task in hand, and you try to focus on the present, and saying that we still got a handful of games here left where we need to ramp our game up too. And one thing about Tampa is, they always find their game, and they have so many good core guys who've done it before, and a veteran group of guys, and obviously an unbelievable goalie, so they know what it takes. And it's in saying that there's time left that we need to elevate our game to feel comfortable, where you go into a series and you feel confident. But yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's talking about kind of what that picture looks like. So there's no question. We know how hard it's going to be. But in saying that, you got to build up to get in there. So there's it's still a process.
Who are you close with on that team?
Tampa?
Yeah.
My 3 best buddies are probably Edmund, Stamkos, and McDonough. Just we're all kind of same ages. Our wives are really good friends, and we all got kids the same ages. So it's a pretty unique setup down there where everyone lives really close to one another. It's not spread out like it is in other cities. Everyone kind of lives within a couple minutes, and they live on that island there where you just golf cart around each other's houses. So it's pretty cool. You just pop by in the afternoon and hang out with the kids and throw them in the pool or whatever. So it's a unique setup. So still really close with those guys, and obviously, when you get the opportunity to go through experiences like that and win. In any sport, you become closer with obviously the group that you do it with. So those are friends for life. But in saying that, it's easy for me to switch gears and focus on what I'm doing right now.
Take a boat to a game?
No, never. No votes to games. That'd be something though.
Thank you, Luke.
All right.